The Lost Art with Andrew Cox podcast. Marine Corps League and Till Valhalla Project Ambassador. Now streaming on all major podcast platforms. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast that's given a voice to our veterans. The Lost Art with Andrew Cox.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Podcast, that podcast giving a voice to our veterans. I'm your host, Andrew Cox, and today we're having a veteran story. But before we get into the episode, are you enjoying the podcast? And make sure you go to the website. That's thelostart.podbean.com. Go check us out, see what we're all about. There's a merchandise tab. You can go in there and get you some cool merchandise. You can get you a shirt, maybe a hat, maybe a cup, something like that. But help support us and getting our veteran voices out for all to hear. Also, a big shout out to the Till Valhalla Project. They're out there doing amazing things. If you don't know anything about the organization, go to their website. It's tillvalhallaproject.com. And for all you Marines out there, those FMF sailors that are out there, there's a place for you once you get out. That's right. It's called the Marine Corps League. So go check them out. You can go to mcleague.org.
Are you a Marine veteran? Are you missing that bond you had on active duty? Then I have a place for you. Join the only congressionally chartered Marine Corps veteran service organization, the Marine Corps League. Get that brother and sisterhood back in your life. Become one of the fewer, the prouder, a Marine Corps League member.
All right, we're back. I got Nick Hooe here, Army veteran. So he's gonna come in here and tell us a story. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Oh man, I'm excited. I don't get a whole lot of Army guys in here, so I'm glad I get to get a little variety on the show every now and again. It's good. Yeah. So talk to me about where you grew up. What was that like? And then what kind of drew you to military service?
So I grew up in Indiana, very small town, graduated small class. It was a lot different than what we see outside, and I go back, it's still pretty much the same.
Yeah.
It's from there I got married. I had 3 kids, well, 2 kids. One came a little bit later. I had 2 kids, and we went to we were working through raising a family, and something had to change. So joined the Army. Gave everything up. Walked away from house, everything, and we cashed everything in to do this.
No kidding.
So and from
and
then,
what year was that?
That was 2000. I finished basic in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
I
keep going. I'm gonna close this door.
Oh, you're fine. I joined basic in went to basic 2003, got the first duty station, started in combat arms MOS, 13 Bravo. So I was artilleryman to start, but we never did any of that. It's a class reorganization kind of thing. The sounds ring true. As you get older, you listen to something that your dad tells you, and he's like, well, what did you sign up to do? And he's like, oh, no, not that. So, and then he was like, you had no idea what you signed up for. And then we had our first deployment, which is, wow, that was interesting. And
well, let's before we get that far, let's go back just a little bit. Yeah. So you decide to join, and you cash everything in. You're going to do this. You're off to boot camp at this point, right? Mm-hmm. So tell me your experience, like lessons learned, or maybe funny things that you had at boot camp that you remember.
I remember I was 23. I'd worked 5 years in the civilian sector, worked in factories, just never could seem to get it right. So went to the military, and one of the things I noticed there was like all these kids coming in, and they're just petrified. And you look at them and like, well, this is all a game. Like, do you not understand that? So I look back, and there was a lot more of the discipline aspect in that particular segment of my life, right? Because that's what was required for what we knew what we were going to do,
right?
Or had thought we knew what we were going to do. So but that was one of the things that stood out, and it was an eye-opener that there can be family beyond just what you have, and you better settle on it. And we grew up very blood's thicker than water. Well, that is not the case in some things. Sometimes,
very true. Yeah.
Sometimes the people that aren't your family need to become your family real quick. So it was a eye opener, and I got to meet a whole lot of interesting people through that. But yeah, basic and AIT. My basic, it was OSIT, so it was 16 weeks total time. And after the 16 weeks, we shipped out to go to our first duty station, and I mean that was it. It was game on for the next year.
Okay. So where did you actually get shipped to for your first duty station?
Fort Benning, Georgia. Okay. I was attached to 3rd ID, 3rd Infantry Division. So we were 3rd Brigade Combat Team. Okay. Kelly Hill. And I was assigned to 110 FA, Field Artillery. Okay. It was, you're young, you don't know anything. Had some really great NCOs. A name comes to mind, Dion Barrett. He never raised his voice. It was, I look back and what an inspiration that was. Amongst the chaos, you could be in the middle of, you're deployed and running convoys, and hey, don't make me raise my voice. Yeah. Okay, I got it. Serious. Yeah, he's serious. But he was like that all the time. Yeah. So that had really good influences like that. Very nice. So yeah, and when we got there, we had a first sergeant who actually said one of the most impactful things to me, and it still lasts with me today. And it had to do with leadership, and I had no idea what he was talking about. I just knew that I was being groomed. I was a PFC that was winning boards. And we were set to deploy. Things were happening. It was really cool. And as he left to be our first sergeant, and he was going to go to staff for deployment, and he pulled us all together. And these guys that I fell in with, I saw this, and it was really cool because they looked at him like a father, and it was personal when he was leaving. Yeah, and he was just going up there to staff. Well, he said the thing that was very impactful. He was like, all right, E4s and NCOs over there. Understand this. Not everybody will make it to E4. He was like, but what I will tell you is in leadership, if you have a soldier and a soldier has one legitimate belief, this one thing, he will do anything for you, to include take a bullet for you if he believes that you care about him and his family. So throughout all of that, it was a different thing. This is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be a family. So I did my deployment, and we went through all that, which was really cool. But that was one of the first sergeants who later became our sergeant major, who was very unruly sergeant major who did whatever he wanted. It was awesome. He was awesome. Command Sergeant Major Darty. It was an amazing person. Yeah. And one of the people that whenever he spoke, I mean, my first day at the unit he comes down and calls the battery to attention, half right face, and all you hear is yeah, that's you two platoon sergeants, get down. And he turns around and says, it's great to be king. As he, over his shoulders, he walks back in the building, he says, when you all figure out what you did, I'll think about letting you up. What? And I listened to 2B7s talking back and forth, and it was just a completely different discipline environment. Yeah. So yeah, that from that first duty station, there was a lot of good things. There was a lot of not so good things that came with it. Watching the people around fall apart, and post deployment especially, and there was, but the people in general, their intentions were the absolute best. Yeah. So now, how long was it when you got there before you went on a deployment? Probably 18 to 24 months.
Okay.
So we had a little bit of time. Yeah. And they had just gotten back. Literally. Okay. Yeah. I want to say it was, I don't remember exactly the time frame, but it was relatively soon. Yeah. And we knew what we were going to do. So okay. That was pretty cool.
And then at that point, so you apparently doing workups at that point, right? Getting prepared to go. Now, what types of things were you doing in the workups to prepare?
For artillery? Well, they started taking us out to mount sites and started doing route clearing and room clearing. And we're like, oh, well, we're not doing that when we get there, are we? They're like, no, you're not. So we went over and turned in our tanks, and we got issued 1113s, 1114s eventually. We got them. But we went over and did that. And so our train up was all transferring from what it was into this new thing that we were operating with. And it was.
So you're deploying, but you're not doing what your actual job is.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So and going back to what my dad said, you have no idea what you signed up for.
Right.
You were absolutely right.
Very nice.
But yeah, that was that whole workup and everything and getting to learn. I mean, and there were so many cool things. I look back and there were cool memories, and there were so many things wrong with it too at the same time. It was just it was beautifully wrong and everything we did, but we didn't care. We were getting the job done.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, okay. So as you're preparing or getting ready to deploy, what's going through your mind as you're preparing for that? Like, you got your family, you're going to be leaving things back here. What is going through your mind as you're getting ready to go forward?
Oh Lord, I don't know. Scared. You're scared when you look back, and you lie to yourself when you're younger that you're not scared. Yeah, you're scared. Mm-hmm. But the reality is you got the people around you. That's what you're taught. That's what you're trained for. Yeah. And it's going to work out. It's going to be all right. So, and then I had, at the time, my boys were, they were little. They were still little. Andrew was still a toddler, and Sam was just starting school. So having to look at them and kind of settle on the fact, this is what I'm doing. This is what my job is. I'm going to go do the job. I'm going to come home. And we had certain things that we just agreed to settle on. And that's how we operated our house and how we discussed it and addressed it. And it worked out. It would have been nicer had we had some experience that had been there, to kind of guide somebody. Hey, this is how you do it. Right. We didn't have the people to come in and talk to us the pre-deployment stuff like what we do now. Yeah. It's 05. I mean, for post-deployment was even more of the same. We didn't have the things that we have now. So preparing to go, you got the stuff the family gave you, a Bible and your gear, and rolled out. It's just the way it was going to be. So, and we'll let you know what our address is when we get there.
Right. Okay. So, and what year was this again?
I was 05, 06.
05, 06. Okay. And where were you going to? Afghanistan, Iraq?
So that was to Iraq.
Okay.
We did operations in the Diyala province in Bakobo.
Okay.
So we did patrols. We did. We operated a CMOC. It was a government facility. We provided security for that. Got to have fantastic people. Yeah. It's just the people you're with. You just realize, even though you're so completely different, it's okay. It's fine. Oh yeah. It's fine because they got you. It's okay.
That's right. Yeah. So now you, when you say patrols, you're doing foot patrols or?
They did a lot of. We did a lot of convoys in the beginning.
Okay.
And then during the convoys, I had a major incident happen that was pretty life-changing and made me relook my whole basis and religion and everything else. So, I spent a lot more time at the government center and integrating with those guys because, it was leadership's decision to keep me from going back out and being put back in that situation. Yeah. So there was a lot of other elements underlying that only the chaplain knew about. And because you didn't tell anybody else back then that there was a problem at home. So either you got a Red Cross message or you dealt with it. Yeah. Because don't complain.
Yeah.
So, but there was the first deployment was, I actually still communicate with my interpreter, one of our interpreters.
Really?
Yeah, he lives in Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. I'm the only person that still calls him by his interpreter name.
Huh.
And he'll respond.
No kidding. Yeah. Wow. So, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Did he come over here with his family?
He tried to do it through means through there and the way that he went through Turkey, and then him and his entire family came over. Wow. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was such a major part of our life. And, all the shenanigans and stuff they tell you, like, hey, don't go out and get any alcohol or whatever. GO1's in effect. He'd be like, shh, this is no problem. You come out here and with me, for your birthday or something like that. Yeah. And everybody knew you're going to have a drink or whatever. But, it was it's quite phenomenal that I still actually have contact with him.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah. Now you said you had the life-changing event, or do you want to talk about the life-changing event, or do you want to kind of move on past that?
Yeah, we'll move on past that.
Okay. All right. So a life-changing event happens, and, now you're questioning your religion and those types of things. So did that drastically change your religion, or?
Yeah, for a very long time. I fought against the church and everything else, and I hold my beliefs and everything to be super private because of it.
Yeah.
Because of the one incident. So,
okay.
Wow. And I've come to meet a lot of people that are similar way. It's not that they've lost it. It's that they just don't talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
They don't need to go show people that they participate. They do it their own way, and that's perfectly okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for sure. So that deployment, how long was it?
That one was just over 12 months, I want to say.
Oh my God, man, the Army deploys for so long.
Let's see. We got, each one's 6 months in the zone.
Oh, wow.
So
that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 months. So, wow.
I was 3 months shy of having another one. So I broke down to the numbers. Yeah.
Good Lord.
It used to be common.
Yeah, true.
That we deployed that much. It's very common.
Yeah. So, so you come back off that 12-month deployment. Now you're reintegrating back with family. You're starting that aspect again, right? How was that? And then also dealing with the trauma coming back, because back then there wasn't a lot of discussion.
So the first experience with that was actually R&R. I came home on R&R. Everything was different. Everything's weird. I expected that. Rational human being. Things been operating. Mama might be a little upset.
Yeah.
So, but the AT4 range at Fort Benning, where we lived at Custer Terrace, you could hear the AT4 range go hot. It happened to go hot the first day that I was home. I rolled out of bed looking for my vest and my weapon.
Yeah.
And it was just a reaction. And then throughout the day, I catch myself. Damn it.
Yeah.
What the heck? So that was my first experience with something's changed, something's happened. I didn't know what it was.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't talk about it either.
Yeah.
Don't say nothing.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So if you wanted your career to go on, and even at that point, I didn't know if it was going to be a career.
Right.
I was 23, 24 years old, raising kids, trying to get by. But yeah, so, and even coming back home, reintegrating, that was a whole different experience. Your kids they've changed. It's even, and I did my R&R at the end of deployment. So I did R&R, and then I got to come home just 3 or 4 months later, so it wasn't too bad, but it was strange. It was something that there was no preparation. And even still, I think that they tried to prepare us for it. But I think that as a mass, it's really hard to do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because you need to understand that people are individuals, and that's where it falls on the base leader.
Yeah.
And why we're so hard on those base leaders. So yeah, it was and family, and they want questions, and you don't want to, and especially whenever you've been through something, you really don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you just end up pulling some random factoid out of the thing and throwing it out on, leave me alone. All right, here you go, have that.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Try to brush it off as best you can. Yeah,
absolutely.
Now, how was it for your wife, your kids? Like, how did they react to you coming back?
It was a reintegration. That's for sure. The major event that happened was twofold. It happened at home, and it simultaneously within the same distance happened on my end with my wife had lost a child then, and I had a shooting incident that involved a child. So, and my religion and everything came into question. Right? Why are you doing this to me? So there was a lot to unpack there. we still, I want to say at that time, we were pretty into the church, but I started questioning. And I was like, okay, well, it's a huge church. Let me talk to a pastor. And I did it real sarcastically.
Yeah.
And it took a day, but we got a call back.
Yeah.
It was fine. My point was invalid, but it was okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was rough. Having little ones and family expecting travel and everything else, and on top of the reintegration, and we're 6 hours away. That was a lot. So, but we got through it.
Yeah,
got through it and got prepped to leave and do it again.
So now, how much time in between before you go back?
From that point, I got home, and shortly after, we found out we had a little girl on the way.
Oh wow!
And time to stop playing. And Dad's like, what are you gonna do? And I said, well, I was gonna re-enlist for infantry.
Yeah.
He was like, you liked it? I'm like, oh, I loved it. I loved every bit of it.
Yeah.
I said, I could let me be me. And I said, and he can be really ugly. I said, it's pretty fun. Yeah. He was like, okay, so we can't keep doing that, can we? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, why don't you pick a job that has a future? Artillery, what are you going to do? I said, shoot bullets inside of mountains part of the year. So I decided to go into aviation.
Okay.
So I reclassed. I went to school. Wife and kids went home, stayed with family, and then we PCS to Fort Hood, Texas.
Okay.
So we went there. We got one deployment.
What were you doing in aviation?
So I got into Apache maintainer.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
Crew chief. We say it cautiously because we don't fly. So
right. Yeah.
But they give us a lot of stuff about that. But got into Apaches. One of the guys that a real good friend of mine, Joe Casillas, man, me and him, he's seen me from the time AIT happened. And, to like he's been, him and my buddy James have been through it all. But we were in Texas, and we had been home for about a year. And I got about 24 months, I think, at that time home. And when I reclassed, so I was like, okay, well, cool. Go get them, sir. You have spent my time outside the water. You have fun. So that was kind of my mindset. Keep me safe, keep me behind the things, and still progress on and support the mission somehow.
Right, yeah.
So we did. And I mean, Texas is all right. I didn't care for it much.
Now, well, Fort Hood is, where's that by?
That's Killeen.
Okay.
Killeen, Waco.
Yeah. So it's very flat, very desert-like, right? Yeah.
I mean, I had a good time, met some good people there, and it was all right. But
now, that's where the schoolhouse was?
No, schoolhouse was in Virginia. I spent 3 months there.
Oh, okay.
And then we PCS, and I PCS and picked them up going through Kentucky to go to Texas.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then when we got down to Texas, we spent a little bit of time there, and got another deployment under our belt.
Where did you go the second time?
Afghanistan this time.
Oh, okay.
So got to see a change of scenery.
What part of Afghanistan?
Kandahar.
Okay.
Kandahar the first time, Bagram the second time.
Okay.
So we went to Kandahar. My buddy James and I, we worked in the same shop. We've watched our kids grow up at this point, 14 years off and on together throughout the military, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But we, Afghanistan was a different thing altogether. Different mission set, a lot of incoming waters and stuff. But you kind of get to where you just look at each other. Okay, it's fun.
Yeah. You kind of get numb to it after a while, right? Yeah.
Like CRMs go off and you're looking up at the sky. It's the wrong thing to do. But you're looking like, oh, cool. Can I see it? But Texas was pretty short-lived. 7 to 9. And the reason for that was my wife at the time, now ex-wife, her dad got diagnosed with brain cancer. So I had reclassed to be moved up to Fort Campbell anyway to get us closer to family. And when we did that, when we got back stateside and we found that out, it was a matter of weeks after we got back, and they were pushing me out. Yeah, like, hey, go do what you got to do.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Wonderful.
That's really good.
Yeah, it was a really good leadership team. I couldn't say enough about them. And then, we went up to Fort Campbell, where I spent a long time.
Okay.
Real long time.
And
too long.
Yeah, too long. Now, what were you doing at Fort Campbell?
Oh, which time?
There
was multiple times. So what happened was I went from Fort Hood. That would have been 2009. We went there. 2009 to 2016, I was there.
Okay.
A couple of deployments in there, and then I went to Fort Eustis, or Fort Rucker at the time, Fort Novosel now.
What is it?
Fort Novosel.
Okay.
It's Fort Rucker.
Okay.
For all of us, it's still Fort Rucker.
That's what I know it as. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I went there to teach and was there for 4 years, and then finished back at Campbell. So I spent 3 more years. So a total of almost 10 years. The rest of it is moving around short. Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. Okay. So hold on. You leave Fort Hood, right? And you went where, you said?
So from Fort Hood, we went to Fort Campbell.
Okay. And what were you doing there? Same type of mission?
So yeah, we were maintenance. Fort Hood was where I had been there 18 months and I got promoted.
So at this point, you're what rank?
I was a 5. I just made sergeant. Had a few guys with me that it was pretty funny how I got them. That's the story between me and them. They all know it.
Yeah.
But it was one of my first coolest leadership experiences. Take something that everybody's negative and make it a positive.
Yeah.
When you pull them together. So that's exactly what we did. It was fun. It was a good time. Learned a lot. And when we went to Campbell, that was a whole different experience.
Yeah. Tell me about that. What was big there?
It's 101st. What do you say to that? Shit. I thought I'd run fast before. No. I got there and started
a new level.
It's a whole new level of stuff. 3101. I was assigned to 3101. They were currently deployed at the time. I remember kind of a funny story, not to take up too much time, but
no, you're good.
This is actually good. I show up and Sergeant Davey, I knew from Fort Hood, just so happened, same battalion. We're both on rear duty. He's like, look, Sarge, congratulations, platoon sergeant. I'm like, what? I just got promoted like 2 months ago. No. He was like, yeah, that's happening. I'm like, all right, cool, man. We doing it? He said, you got 23 guys. I'm like, okay. So it snowed and we were having flights come in. So we had weird hours. So I was trying to make sure that we're still getting the guys do PT. Mm-hmm. And when we did have a chance to do organized PT, it was not negotiable and do not be late. Yeah. I was kind of mean about it.
Yeah.
But we had a whole bunch of different MOSs, different discipline levels. So we need to establish this. This is the way I operate. And we knew people were trickling in. We knew we had about another month of running these guys like that till they went to their unit permanently to leave and everything. And so a couple of them decided to show up late.
Yeah.
I said, that's okay. Stand by. It just snowed. It just melted. The center median was just kind of muddy and nasty. And I started making them low crawl. And when they start low crawling, Sergeant Davey walks out and says, hey, you might want to stop. I said, why? He said, see that big guy standing in the door over there? That's the Sergeant Major. And he had a big grin on his face. He said, I could use somebody like that working for me. And I told him, I was like, get up, go clean up, be back here in 30 minutes.
Very nice.
It actually was really cool. We ended up being neighbors, me and the Sergeant Major did.
Oh, no kidding.
He was Sergeant Major Ward, fantastic human being.
Yeah.
A hell of a leader. But I got to spend a little bit of time with him and then kind of got drugged from 3101 to 563rd with him again. So we got there and I met one of my best friends, James. We hated each other for 2 years. Didn't like each other at all.
Really?
No, I say 2 years is probably less than that. I think we actually started to come around first deployment.
Yeah.
But yeah, and now we're two, like we're family. That's what that is. So, but yeah, we losing my train of thought. Where were we at?
You went from 101st up to what'd you say?
3101.
3101.
3101 Battalion to 563rd. I spent quite a bit of time there in the ASB. I got to meet some really cool people.
Now, were you doing the same type of thing there?
So it's a support battalion. So I got stuck in the quality control shop.
Okay.
So there I went from working on my helicopter to all of the rotary wing.
Oh, wow.
What I felt comfortable with and learned a whole lot. And learned that your left and right limits is so much more than what you're actually allowed, and started figuring out, oh, this is why we do things. Okay. So technical wise,
so you grew a lot at that duty station. Yeah. That's cool.
A whole lot. I went from 5 to 6 there.
Oh, wow.
And then left Pen 7 and came back as a 7.
Oh, wow. Now, in between that, where did you go?
So I went from there to Fort Rucker. I taught for 4 years at the life support school, aviation life support school. Taught there for 4 years. And then I went from there to South Korea. They demanded that I do an overseas tour before I retired.
Yeah.
I was actually set up to retire as a 6.
Really?
The new OML came out. I went from being over half to all of a sudden I'm qualified to be promoted next month. I was like, what?
Wow.
I was ready. I had retirement packet ready to go as soon as I went to Campbell. I had 12 months left. Now it's 3 more years.
So you were at 19 years.
I was at 18.
18 years. Okay.
And I was at a point where you could say no, thanks for playing, and go home.
Yeah.
Or you can take it and finish it. And I had now Sergeant Major Rodriguez. He came over to the barracks and he was like, hey, you deserve it, take it. And I'm like, I want it. I just want to go home.
Yeah.
And little did I know that the next thing was going to be really cool. So it worked out.
So tell me about going to South Korea. Was that
South Korea was fantastic.
Did you just take the family?
No.
So it's
actually, I had gotten divorced in 2016, 2017. And we'll get to the son thing here in a minute. And I think that's important to mention during this. But 2016, 2017, I got a divorce. And 2017, it was finalized. And shortly after that, a little while after that, I met my current wife.
Okay.
And we started dating. And then I went to Korea. And before I got back from Korea, she decided to meet me in Tennessee. So we got married, and it's what we've been doing ever since. So it's kind of a haphazard meeting. But it was, Korea was actually really cool. It was the first time that I was able to go do something and not have the responsibility of there's little kids at home and everything else.
Right.
And I mean, my now wife was just like, go do. So we did. We went and did, and we got to see cool stuff, hang out with monks. It was neat.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool. And that's a year.
It's 12 months.
Okay. And you're doing the same type of thing.
I actually ended up in quality control, and how I ended up there was kind of funny because I didn't want to be back in quality control because they were like, well, he'll run it, and I didn't want it. I fought against it, but we did take a junior guy, and I'm still really close friends with him. He actually got out, had a real tough time. He lives in Texas now, but we put him in charge.
Yeah, and
he was smart, and I was like, dude, make the call. I will never let you fail.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen. He was like, oh, and it was so fun, be in charge, but in the backseat. It was really a neat experience. And to have it be one of your friends,
absolutely.
Really so
that's cool, man. All right. And then at that point, after your 12 months there, is that when you were approaching retirement then, or?
So 2000 and I was 2000 and right at the end of that deployment, October, I was leaving in December. October is when I got promoted. So I was literally 3-4 months away from dropping a retirement packet. Being, there's no further in the Army. It's if you don't promote, you move on. So 6s are allowed to retire, but you get RCP. So you reach your control point.
Oh, I got
So you can't go any further.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was reaching my RCP, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll accept that. I've done my job. I'll go home and just come to peace with it. And then they're like, oh no, wait, just 1 minute. So yeah, it was that was interesting. That was neat. So
yeah, very nice. And that was for 7.
That was for 7.
Yeah. Okay. And then so after Korea, where'd you end up?
So out of 20 something, well, almost 20 years at that point, I had never been in a cab unit, and they stick me in a cab unit my last run.
No kidding.
And here I am, broke. I can't ruck march anymore. I can't run.
Yeah.
Jesus, what am I going to do? I better stand out in some way. And I had when I first got there, it was interesting. I had a sergeant major that I knew from before when I was in the ASB. I mean, we're talking 10 years prior.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And we all kind of knew each other, aviation small. And when I got there, we had a new first sergeant from 160th come over, and a commander that changed everything. They just took an approach. You got it, you run it. And it was so much fun. And the guys made it absolutely phenomenal. Like, so inappropriately awesome. It was just perfect. But it was the first time that I ever got to, in my military career, do it my way. Yeah, 100%. It was so much fun. So I got to end it as a 7. Yeah. And the goal was always, my grandfather was in World War II, served in Patton's 3rd Army. He was a tech sergeant, so he's a 6. My goal was ever to make it 6. Just make it to that point. I'm good. That's so cool. 7 was icing on the cake.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. Man, and I bet you said it was your grandfather?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever hear any stories from him?
Yeah. Maybe one of the other events we do, I'll bring some of the stuff that I have. I got the S6 documents, and
no kidding.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow, that is really cool. Oh man. Now, okay, so you at that point you're basically running it your way. Yeah. But you're coming up to, I'm going to retire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and two, I was running it my way. And my current wife and I got married, and she grew up Air Force. Her dad did 27 years, so she's very familiar with it. And then Cav, we had our idea of what our Cav family should be, so we made it that. And we went full force, and we knew we only had a little bit of run. Let's have fun with it. Yeah, and we did, and so we had fun doing it. That was the important thing. And at the time, I had kind of made the decision that I was retiring. I hadn't told my daughter or my son, and hadn't really told anybody. So that was all kind of like, okay, that's happening. And when we did the CSP, I was like a career skills program. I'm a big advocate for transitioning soldiers, and that is huge. Like, I spent 4 months working for somebody else, getting paid by the Army to figure out civilian life. Yeah. But I'm still psychologically held to the Army rules, so I still have to play nice. So it's a great way to kind of make us don't freak out too much. Okay. So, but it was a good thing. So I went down and did that, and went back up and cleared. And, and then we'll discuss the next part, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So what year was it you retired?
I just retired this past year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What month?
November 1, 2024.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're real fresh. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Man, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. We're, and it's amazing. Like, as you settle in to see civilian, and it's important for things like this, and everything that's going on here to like reconnect with those people, because you're not okay. No matter how good you think you are, you still need some of that military side to pull you back and ground you. So, the CSP I feel is a very important tool for us.
Now, where did you go for the CSP?
I went to the Fort Campbell CSP office. I'm a little bit of an unconventional person. I see some similarities within the house. I decided I wanted to do a CSP, but I want to do it my way. I'm tired of doing everything everybody else's way. Yeah. So I took all the required paperwork, figured out what it needed to say, how it needed to say it, and they give you a little sheet to fill out. So me and my wife took a weekend down here and stayed at NAS at Pensacola, and I drove around to different businesses and walked in and shook their hand. I did it my way.
Nice.
And now I know exactly the ones. I told them what I was trying to do. I know who the ones that are the okay ones to be around that tried to get me in, and then there's the ones that actually did get me in. So there's that. Wow. So it was a great way for me to get to know the area and to meet some of the people too, find out some of the businesses around. I got linked up with some people that later on I would find myself in an eerily similar situation. And the connections and the paths that were connected through everything that's happened and me sitting here talking to you is beyond believable. There is no explanation for that. So when we talk about connections, packing back through people that hadn't met 10 years ago. It's just wild. So
well, tell me a little bit about that. Do you mind going into it? Or
okay, so it's a lot to unpack. I'll give you the rundown. I started working for Flat Island Boat Works. I did the retirement thing. I accepted their job offer. I lost my son. The owner and the manager both had lost their child. I come back. I'm in pretty weird place. I'm taking the job. That's what I said I would do, right? So the owner introduces me to Dave, and through Dave, we get to talking. He pushes me to come to coffee. Through that, I meet somebody else in the same situation, and life kicked us real hard, and we tried to get some help and for something. And whenever we asked for help through our military channels, it happened. We went from being at 30 or 45 days to let's get you there in a few hours. It went wow. So okay, and the importance that we place in everything, and everything's interconnected. And the person that he called to make that happen was connected with my current wife from up to 10 years ago. It was just absolutely amazing. Wow. It was amazing. And it's been quite a take a breath and breathe kind of moment. But yes, and just like through losing my son, and I allude to that, and it's something that I've mentioned to a couple of people that and I told the first sergeants and commanders and the chaplains, of course, they went on edge about this because that's their business. But I told them whenever they were at the funeral, I said, I got a real unbiased takeaway. We are so good at looking at the formation in front of us. And they, of course, chaplains were like, I'm like, you don't know me. First Sergeant Dan, he was like, it's fine. Yeah, I got it. Because he knew that I was being legitimate and completely unbiased. I think that my military preparation had prepared me for when that was going to come. And there is a lot of things that we do that focus on the soldier, and we fail at that a lot. But we also, there's a lot simpler methods that we were, as far as taking care of the family, that often gets put behind, and especially kids and their needs and your career moves get hindered by it. And whether they want to admit it or not, that is exactly what happens. So there's a whole lot to that. And a lot of that has to do with kids being moved around. I mean, I have my issues, and I've been, in combat zones, and I feel like in comparison, I handle it pretty well. There was times when I didn't. I fully acknowledge that. I'm sure I'd have an ex-wife that would agree. I mean, and truth and honesty is the only way that you get through it. So it's, the thing to remember is that we're not who we are today that we were yesterday.
That's good.
And it's a motivational thing that you have to remember. So
absolutely.
But it's been interesting military service. I've loved every bit of it.
And it was total 22?
21 and a half.
Okay. So almost 22.
Almost 22. I look back though, as a lot of the times was spent worried about a whole bunch of nothing.
That is a true statement. It happens.
You just worry about going in and worry about loading the truck up, worry about doing this. It's just be. It's going to happen. Promise.
Whether you want it to or not, it'll happen. Yeah. You're right. Oh man. And so now you're local here in Florida?
Pensacola.
Okay.
Pensacola area.
Okay. And you're just kind of you're working at the same place still,
no, I moved on. I've cut back. I've started taking some time for me. with everything else that's happened, we have a very set, rigid schedule that I kind of don't stick to. So it works out really well.
Strict schedule I don't stick to.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what it is. But yeah, I mean, we try. There's a lot of factors that pull us, and we just we accept that, you know, when we started down here doing this, I was in a real weird place, and then I met and started going to coffee on Wednesdays and getting to talk to some people and kind of letting the dust settle and realizing that stuff like this is just it's important.
Yeah. And you know, from what I've seen with this with A Hero, that they're doing some fantastic stuff. You know, it's helping lots of people. You know, I wish there were more veteran organizations that were doing as much as A Hero. You know.
Yeah, and two, the thing that I asked for help for, it was just I didn't get that response in the military.
Yeah,
that's what's crazy.
Yeah.
So if you need something, yeah, absolutely. And you know, kind of the ideology that we leave, but we don't stop what we did. We don't stop that. You don't turn off that camaraderie.
True.
It's in your DNA.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
Yeah. I mean, look at what we just did. I mean, you brought people from all over the place together, never met each other, and just due to, you know, nature of what we've done in the past, we all connect, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And then whenever you start talking about the veterans and connecting, and then you start looking at the other veterans and you see them kind of, and then you start paying attention to their mannerisms, and you're like, oh, I've seen that. You should probably come hang out with us. Like,
Very true. Yeah. Very true. Yeah. I like it. Well, shoot, man. Thanks for sharing your story and coming up here, man. Is there anything else that you want to cover? Or? No. Okay. Well, when we get to an end of a podcast, I always like to do rapid fire questions.
Sure.
So, all right, let me get to them here. All right. What is your proudest military moment?
Oh, Lord, that's a hard one. Ooh, that's hard. That's a rapid fire, but ooh, that's a hard one. Yeah.
Hey, they get tougher.
Oh, Lord.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, proudest was probably whenever I made my 6 and was actually able to have my family there to see me get promoted.
Oh, nice.
It's the only rank that I think they've ever seen get promoted that was leadership. Was when I pinned staff sergeant, and was able to have my dad and my kids there to see it all happen.
That's really cool. Yeah, I like that. All right. What is your most embarrassing military moment?
Oh, we can't say that. No, because that still could be punitive. No, we can't.
Right,
but we can go with a better one. What was the question? The funniest?
The most embarrassing.
Most embarrassing?
Yeah.
I would have to say probably when we were placing lingerie around one of the soldiers' rooms while he was at work on deployment, and we got caught by the colonel. That was pretty funny. And he never even said a word. That's the craziest thing.
He saw you and just went,
he saw us and was like, he said, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And we just looked at each other. All right, we just looked. I don't know.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I like it. If you could be one military leader for a day, who would that be?
That I would have to say, I would love to have known what Pat knew.
Yeah,
because there was so much more that's not documented. That was we know is discussed off the books. The way it really works.
Yeah,
and then when we put it on paper, we've already talked about how this will probably go. And
yeah. It'd be cool to be in his head. Yeah, for sure. All right. If you could change one rule in the military, what would it be?
Okay. All right. So I was really hard on my guys about this, and and they're gonna, if they hear this, it's gonna be bad. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
I would let them grow beards.
Yeah,
I would. It's not just so my son always had a beard. I've not shaved since.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a plan to, not for any time soon. It's just going to get nastier and nastier, and I'm okay with it. I would let soldiers, if that's one of the things. I think that we should look at things fairly across the board, regardless of we're all one rank.
Yeah,
all one. We're in the military. We're not male, female when it comes to that stuff. If you want to have a beard, as long as it's kept within a decent standard, professional looking. Right. And there's a way to do that.
Absolutely. There is. Yeah. I agree.
It might not be comfortable for the soldier to do it, but if there's standards, okay.
Yeah. I mean, for the mustaches, there's standards,
right? Yeah.
So, you could do it. All right. What is one skill or lesson that you learned that you still use today?
Read the room before you speak.
Oh, that's a good one.
You better know what you're about to say.
Yeah.
I do talk a lot, but don't mistake my talking for not listening. I'm trying to pay attention to everything going on. And with ADHD, that have been a superpower. Yeah. Because I could walk into a room and let my ADHD take over, read everybody's face. Okay, cool. I know where I said. But no, that was one of the things that one of the leaders taught me. Read the room. Read the room before you speak. You do it at promotion boards. You do it at anything that you do in the military. Read the room. So,
it's important. Yeah, for sure. All right. In the zombie apocalypse, what would be your weapon of choice and what anthem is going to be playing?
I can give you a place because it's already pre-stocked. I've already had this plan.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
There was a random bar conversation amongst a couple guys. I want to say it was at a ball, and we decided we were going to take over a grocery store.
Okay.
We're going to roll over the nearest post for the armory and get the ammunition and everything that we needed because we all know where to go to get it. But we're going to stack it in the grocery store beforehand. They're going to be looking for all this while we're in there stocking up. We got food, we got ammo, we're good to go.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, but what anthem is playing? What song?
Welcome to My House.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I would do there.
Okay, yeah, that's good, man. That was really good. All right, what animal best describes your time in service?
You can't choose one.
Oh, okay.
No, because it's an evolving thing. My leadership style is completely different now than what it is and what it was when I was, 10, 20 years ago. I wouldn't say there would be just one. Okay. There would be phases, like chapters. There would be one for each chapter and how many ever chapters there would be in that. So
okay. I like that. Yeah. All right. Which branch of the military has the sexiest uniforms?
She's not wrong.
It hurts, doesn't it?
It does. It does. I mean, had we stayed with the pinks and greens, the ones that we have now all the time, I mean, we would have had some tradition, but they got the tradition behind it.
Yeah, that's true. But the pinks and greens do look good.
They look good.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, when they came out with that, I was very, very pleased to see it. I was like, man, that looks good, and I love the barracks cover. Oh man, I think it looks good.
It does. It looks really sharp, and especially if you whenever you see them do their ball stuff, where they do the drop down metal, it looks really sharp.
Yeah.
God, I hate it when somebody else is right, especially when they're Marine.
Okay, here we go. What branch of the service is the best?
It depends on what you want to do.
Okay.
If you want to fly, the Army is the best. No college education required. You can learn from the ground up and work your way through it.
Okay. I like that.
If you're wanting the education and everything else, that's those other branches. I can just tell you what we do.
Yeah.
All I know is you don't want to be a Marine.
Is that right? Right. Why not a Marine? They have the sexiest uniform.
But they always have crayons in their teeth.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've eaten a crayon lately, but
That it's the blue ones that are.
Is the blue ones?
It's the blue
okay.
ones.
Yeah. All right. Knowing what you know now, would you do it all over again?
I will answer that cautiously, and I will tell you this. I had a first sergeant tell me after my first shooting. He said, if you knew then what you know now, would you do it again? And I looked at him and I said, hell yes. We left with 12 that day. We came home with 12 that day. I have nothing to apologize for. And he said, that's the wrong answer. Well, I also know that's the right answer. Sometimes, yes, I would do it. I would do it all again. My wife and I, we have a thing. We wouldn't be here if we hadn't been there. So change it. Would I want to change some things? Yeah, but I don't understand the purpose for everything. So I got to say no. Wouldn't change a thing.
All right. I like it. All right. Well, I always give an opportunity for words of wisdom that you want to leave the audience with, or any last minute thing that you want to kind of talk and address. This is your opportunity, man.
No, I think that we pretty much covered everything throughout the thing. So.
All right. Well, man, thanks for coming on and doing this. Don't take off on me now. But yeah, thanks for coming on and doing this. It's been great hearing your story, and I just appreciate you sharing it with me.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. To all the listeners out there, if you're struggling and need help, anything like that, don't forget the VA does have some great resources. You can always dial 988, press option 1. You can always text 838-255, or you can go to veteranscrisisline.net and click on the chat icon. Any of those options will put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. But remember, one veteran life lost is one too many. I care about you. This guy here cares about you. The whole veteran community cares about you. So please reach out for help. And if you're out there, you're not struggling, reach out to a buddy that you served with, ask them how they're doing. And if they need that helping hand, please give it to them. One last time, thanks, man. Truly appreciate it. To all the listeners, stay motivated. Change your socks.